Good morning. Plato's Charmides, Day 5. I am reflecting, I replied, and discover that temperance or wisdom, if it is a species of knowledge, must be a science, and a science of something. Yes, he said, the science of man's self, referring back to the know thyself. Is not medicine the science of health? True. And suppose that I were asked by you what is the use or effect of medicine, which is the science of health? I should answer that medicine is of very great use in producing health, which, as you will admit, is an excellent effect. Granted. And if you were to ask me what is the result or effect of architecture, hello Isa, which is the science of building, I would say houses, and so of other arts, which all have their different results. Now I want you, Critias, to answer a similar question about temperance or wisdom. I don't know if I like temperance being equalized to wisdom, because I don't think I'm a very temperate person. Which, according to you, is the science of man's self. Admitting this view, I ask of you, what good work, worthy of the name wise, does temperance or wisdom, which is the science of man's self, effect? Answer me. I think it's a really good question. Critias differs. One should probably now spend some time pondering what your response to Socrates would have been if he asked you to answer him. That is not the true way of pursuing the inquiry, Socrates, he said. For wisdom is not like the other sciences, any more than they are like one another. But you proceed as if they were alike. For tell me, he said, what result is there of computation or geometry, in the same sense as a house is a result of building, or a garment of weaving, or any other work of any of the many other arts? Can you show me any result, such result of them? You cannot. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, but I don't really get the impression that Critias is at all inferior to Socrates in this dialogue. I think he's giving him quite the run for his money. That is true, I said, but still I can show you that each of these sciences has a subject which is different from the science. The art of computation, for instance, has to do with odd and even numbers in their numerical relations to themselves and to each other. Is not that true? Yes. And the odd and even numbers are not the same with the art of computation. They are not. The art of weighing, again, has to do with lighter and heavier. But the art of weighing is one thing, and the heavy and the light are another. Do you admit that? Yes. Now I want to know, what is that which is not wisdom, and of which wisdom is the science? You are just falling into the old error, Socrates, he said. You come asking wherein wisdom or temperance differs from the other sciences, and then you try to discover some respect in which it is like them. But it is not, for all the other sciences are of something else, and not of themselves. Wisdom alone is a science of other sciences and of itself. So wisdom inquires into all other sciences and into itself, it seems. And of this, as I believe, you are very well aware. And you are only doing what you denied that you were doing just now, trying to refute me instead of pursuing the argument. And what if I am? How can you think that I have any other motive in refuting you but what I should have an examination into myself? That's cool. So what if I am refuting you? How can you think that I have any other motive in refuting you but what I should have in examining into myself? That is very cool. I'm reminded of the dialogue. Which one is it? Where Socrates mocks the greater Hippias, I think. Hippias, or I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Where Socrates is mocking the sophist by talking of a man that often asks him questions, which really makes it difficult for him to answer. Of course, he's speaking, it's mentioned in the dialogue itself that he is referring to himself as his great inquirer. So he is very much honest with Critias here then when he said, I'm doing to you what I do to myself. So this motive would be just a fear of my unconsciously fancying that I knew something of which I was ignorant. And at this moment, I assure you, I pursue the argument chiefly for my own sake, and perhaps in some degree also for the sake of my other friends. For would you not say that the discovery of things as they truly are is a good common to all mankind? That's a cool quote. Would you not say that the discovery of things as they truly are is a good common to all mankind? I should write that down. Yes, certainly, Socrates, he said. Then I said, be cheerful, sweet sir, and give your opinion in answer to the question which I asked, never minding whether Critias or Socrates is the person refuted. Attend only to the argument and see what will come of the refutation. That's fellowship. That's like whether I'm refuting myself or whether I'm refuting you, it's the same spirit. And it's because it's not about us. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about the truth. Or about discovering things as they truly are for the common of all mankind. I like this dialogue. But I have to say, every time I read any dialogue, I'm like, ooh, this could be my favorite. I think that is reasonable, he replied, and I will do as you say. Tell me then, I said, what you mean to affirm about wisdom. I mean to say that wisdom is the only science which is the science of itself as well as of the other sciences. I am curious what Greek term he uses here for wisdom. I should look it up. But the science of science, I said. Tell me then what you mean to affirm about wisdom. I mean to say that wisdom is the only science which is the science of itself, as well as of the other sciences. But the science of science, I said, will also be the science of the absence of science. Very true, he said. Then the wise or temperate man, and he only, will know himself and be able to examine what he knows or does not know, and to see what others know and think that they know, and do really know, and what they do not know and fancy that they know when they do not. No other person will be able to do this. And this is wisdom and temperance and self-knowledge. For a man to know what he knows and what he does not know. That is your meaning? Yes, he said. Oh, this is so cool, because this is what Socrates is kind of famous for seeing that his wisdom is knowing that he does not know. And in the Apology, it seems as if he kind of just came to that conclusion by himself, but in here, he is extracting it from Critias, which is cool. Then the wise or temperate man, and he only, will know himself and be able to examine what he knows or does not know, and to see what others know and think that they know and do really know, and what they do not know and fancy that they know when they do know. I am also curious what Greek word know is. No other person will be able to do this. And this is the wisdom and temperance and self-knowledge. For a man to know what he knows and what he does not know. That is your meaning. Yes, he said. Now then, I said, since the third time brings luck, already back then, oh wow. Let us begin again and ask, in the first place, whether it is or is not possible for a person to know that he knows what he knows, and that he does not know what he does not know, and in the second place, whether, if perfectly possible, such knowledge is of any use. That is what we have to consider, he said. Well then, Critias, I said, see if you are in a better position than I am. I am in a difficulty. Shall I tell you the nature of the difficulty? By all means. Does not what you have been saying, if true, amount to this, that there must be a single science which is wholly a science of itself and of other sciences, and that the same is also the science of the absence of science? Yes. I should have looked up exactly what the Greeks meant with the word science as well. I knew this, but I forgot. It's somewhere there. But consider how monstrous this proposition is, my friend. In any parallel case, the impossibility will be obvious to you. How is that? And in what cases do you mean? In such cases as this. Now he's probably going to talk about bots again. Suppose that there is a kind of vision which is not like the ordinary vision, but a vision of itself and of other sorts of vision, and of the defect of them, which in seeing sees no color, but only itself and other sorts of vision. Do you think that there is such a kind of vision? Critias don't, he says, certainly not. Or is there a kind of hearing which hears no sound at all, but only itself and other sorts of hearing, or the defects of them? There is not. Or take all the senses together. Can you imagine that there is any sense which is a sense of itself and of other senses, but is incapable of perceiving the objects of the senses? I think not. Could there be any desire which is not the desire of any pleasure, but of itself and of all other desires? Yes. Certainly not. Or can you imagine a wish which wishes for no good, but only for itself and all other wishes? I should answer no. Or would you say that there is a love which is not the love of beauty, but of itself and of other loves? I should not. Tot zover ons skriflesing. Have a beautiful day.